In his research, China's English language environment, Gill mentioned that English language teaching and learning environment is getting richer, and English is used fairly extensively in the domains of science and technology, the media, the tourism, and international connections and business. The line between English as a second language and English as a foreign language contexts has become blurred, and it is no longer easy to distinguish between the two. It is true that English is no longer a strange language for minorities. I began to learn English in middle school when I was 13 years old, and my teachers were Chinese. The only tool we had was dictionaries, and there were no English corners to communicate. Nowadays, we can see the kids learning English at kindergarten, and we have so many assistive tools like online dictionaries, online courses, apps, videos, and audios. More English channels arise. There are so many foreign teachers in China. Learning English becomes so convenient. So, with Mandarin as the predominant language, English is becoming a second language to learn. But at the same time, China is facing the crisis of losing its own accents. Before I read the research, Language, Ideology, and Power by Dada, I did not connect the language with humanity, although I did feel uncomfortable when I told my students no Chinese in English class, as I believe immersion learning is more effective for them to learn English. Also, it is not professional in people's mind. Can you imagine a parent's face when he or she see a Chinese teacher who teaches English but allows Chinese speaking in her class? There will be only one opinion in their mind. The teacher is not professional. Also, I did not link language with political colony before that, although I did feel sorry for the discrimination that many people faced when they left their hometown and worked in other cities. Dada commented that the politics of language signals formidable struggles around the world, where the inextricable relationship of language, ideology, and power is clearly unmistakable. In his article, he mentioned that for the sake of the national unity, the policymakers advocated linguistic genocide, which led to language dying off, cultural forgetting, and cultural hegemony, racism, shame, and inferiority of differences. When I think of my personal experience, as well as my observations, these points make sense to me. One reason that the language could be supported or lost is related to the economic development and political power of the country or nation. For example, why English could become the world language. We can tell that there are so many international companies around the world, which requires us to be able to communicate in English. We can see the world currency is dollars. We can see any change of American will have butterfly effect around the world. America is the leading country of the world. I learned English when I was 13 in middle school. Why we want our children to learn English from kindergarten now? There are so many reasons, but there's no doubt that we know language is the foundation for our children to be competent when they grow up in this getting smaller world. To narrow it down to China, let's compare the developed cities and developing cities. Till 2018, there are 31.02 million people in Chongqing, 21.54 million people in Beijing, and 24.24 million people in Shanghai. Most of them are not local, but people from other cities or countrysides. Why? My hometown only has more than 3 million people there. They came to work here for better payment and advanced lifestyles. And it is more likely and easier for people to learn the local accent because it will help them have better opportunities, especially in cities who have discrimination to outlanders. Policies are another important factor to build the public mind. In China, you have to pass the Mandarin standard to be a qualified teacher. Policymakers also advocated the benefits of Mandarin, which caused the public to believe Mandarin is superior to other accents. In China, if you cannot speak standard Mandarin, you will definitely be marked off your accent or discriminated. All this encourages the public to forget about their own culture and language because it is treated as a shame. In this summer, when I went back to my husband's hometown, I found that many seniors were trying to speak Mandarin when they came back from other cities. My mother-in-law came to help us for a couple of weeks, and she told me yesterday that when she went home back to her hometown, she would speak Mandarin. And I said, "No, Mom, you should speak the accent. It is beautiful." I also speak accent with my husband and encourage my kids to speak accent if they want. We also speak English at home. So I think language diversity should start from ourselves. English, Mandarin, accents, all are beautiful.